Hello, everyone. I'm Janine Mount, Associate Provost for Academic and Professional Affairs at MCPHS University. I realize that's a very long title, but what it means is simply that I have the great pleasure of working with all of the programs, all of the faculty, and indirectly all of the students at MCPHS across our entire community, all of our campuses. It's a really wonderful opportunity for me to be with you today, to say hello, to welcome you to the university, and to tell you just a few additional things about us. First, I want to welcome you to the MCPHS family. I'm speaking to you, our newly accepted students, but I also want to speak to the parents, the family members, and the friends who may be viewing this. We're so glad that you're joining us for this virtual program and hope that it is able to address some of the questions that you have, provide you information, and assist you in some very important decision-making for these coming years. We are so glad that you are with us. In addition to welcoming you, though, I feel I really need to take a few minutes just to share with you some additional thoughts. I've been in the classroom for too long. I can't not take advantage of this opportunity. What I'd really like to say to you is that each of you has so much to be proud of in the accomplishments, and for me to be able to congratulate you about that. Students, you have made it through the most challenging year that I could ever imagine. Congratulations for doing that. And thank you to all of the family, friends, and to your teachers who have helped you along the way to get to the point where you spent valuable time and a lot of energy thinking about what your future will hold, and making such active efforts to sort out where you can best have those interests met. Congratulations on your admissions, your acceptance to MCPHS University. It's a very, very exciting institution to think about being associated with, to joining as a student. We have so much to be able to offer to you. The range of programs in the health professions, the health sciences, health humanities is really remarkable, unparalleled as far as I can see from looking at other universities. We also have, not surprisingly, some of the most amazing opportunities for students to explore their interests, whether that's clinical interests based on our location in Boston and the Longwood medical area, connected to our extensive clinical experience network. We have a mind-boggling over 11,000 clinical placements per year that students participate in, giving them a wonderful range of experiences to discern where their future might lie if they're in the clinical professions. But in the Boston community, the opportunity in our research activities, public health involvements, and activities in all areas of social life are so important. I also want to, though, congratulate you on your commitment to health. I don't think there's ever been a time when we as an entire society, as a global community, have recognized the importance that our clinical healthcare professionals, our health scientists, as well as our health humanities individuals bring to us in helping address what has been a totally unpredicted, unprecedented, and remarkable year. We recognize them all as heroes, whether that's helping us make the decisions about how care is best delivered, how it is that we can share our scarce resources and make certain that the health of the world is best promoted, whether it's just investigating and discovering treatments and preventions for what has been an amazing year filled with attention to a pandemic and a variety of other important public health concerns. Congratulations to you for your commitment. Health has never been more important. MCPHS gives you a great opportunity to explore that, to find your passion, to meet the needs of the world with the thing that really makes you feel that you are alive and can contribute. We hope to see you in the fall One of my favorite days is when students move into the residence halls and I have a chance to meet them individually and your families in person. I look forward to doing that in the fall and hope to be able to say hello to you, to welcome you, and to again congratulate you then. Thanks. We look forward to meeting you in person.
Hello, and thank you for joining us for the Faculty Forum. My name is Camille Beniga, and I am a fifth-year student in the pharmacy program. My hometown is Santa Clarita, California, but I did move to Boston back in 2016. It was right when I started going to MCPHS. I know from California, I'm a super long way away from home, and when I first told my parents I want to go to college here in Boston, they were so surprised. They were like, what? How are you even going to eat? You can't even cook for yourself. But really, I chose MCPHS for its prime location here in the medical center of Boston. We are next to world-renowned and amazing hospitals, which means that we have many opportunities to intern, volunteer, and work at these medical institutions. And also, to my parents' relief, there are so many great restaurants around here, so food was never a concern in the long run. And even to this day, 5 years later, I'm still trying out new restaurants. So today, we really are here to just let you guys catch a glimpse of what it is that MCPHS can offer for all of its students. There are many ways to get involved, both on and off campus, and we will definitely touch upon that during our time together. For example, on campus, I have worked with many departments, with the admissions office, as I brainstormed to you all today. I've also worked as a student worker for the Office of Student Access and Accommodations, as well as a peer tutor for the biochemistry course for the Center of Academic Success and Enrichment for other students in the pharmacy program. Off campus, how I mentioned before, that we're right next to these amazing hospitals. I am a pharmacy intern for Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center, which is a Harvard teaching hospital just right down the street from our university. And I've been there for a little under 2 years now. But that's enough about me. I would just like to get to know our outstanding professors who will be joining us today. So if each of you can please introduce yourselves, how long you've been at MCPHS, as well as your role here at the university, and we can start with Dr. DeMasi.
Great. Thanks very much, Camille. Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Joe DeMasi. I'm a professor of biology in the School of Arts and Sciences at MCPHS University. I've been here for about 14 years, and I love teaching at MCPHS. I am also the department chair of the Department of Math and Natural Sciences in the School of Arts and Sciences, and I'm also the program director for the Medical and Molecular Biology program.
Hello, thank you, Camille. My name is Dr. Carrie Griffin. I have been at MCPHS for 9 years. I'm also in the School of Arts and Sciences, and I am the program director for the Baccalaureate Public Health program and the founding director of the Center for Undergraduate Research.
And I'm Dr. Robin Harvan. I'm professor of health sciences as well as the director of the Health Sciences Pathway programs. And I've been here for 8 years now, but I do span a 30-plus year career in health professions education and love being at MCPHS because of the student orientation.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Maria Koskorakis. I'm a professor of pharmacy practice, and I'm also the assistant dean for academic affairs in the School of Pharmacy Boston. I'm actually an alum of MCPHS. I started my career here coming back in 2001, and I have been here ever since.
Great. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. So just jumping right into the questions, this one is for Dr. Griffin and Dr. Harvan. What led you to MCPHS as an educator in healthcare?
Thank you so much, Camille. So many things, but first I'll say the location. Working and studying in Boston is an amazing opportunity to be so near so much of the cutting edge science, technology, and public health and medical research that's taking place in the entire country. So being in close proximity means that I can develop close relationships with researchers who are at the forefront of these innovations, both at our institution and other institutions around the city. Second, I was really excited about MCPHS being a teaching institution. And that's not the same at every university, but faculty here are encouraged to spend time with students, and we are supported as we develop programs, as we create courses and other experiences that, based on our expertise, are likely to result in student success. And third, I'll say, is the ability to innovate. Our leadership is very clear that they bring in faculty who will add value to our university community, and we are supported in our goals of innovation.
Thank you, Dr. Griffin. This is Dr. Robin Harvan, and very similarly is the focus on students and the support for students, which was definitely my primary interest for coming to MCPHS because of that focus. As I did say before, I have a 30-plus year span career in health professions education. My doctorate is in health professions education. So when it came to what next in my career, it was come to Boston. It is the mecca of healthcare. And just as Dr. Griffin said, the amount of opportunities that we have as faculty with students to be able to engage in the healthcare industry in the Boston area is a huge plus. It's for me, it's Disneyland for an academic to be here, and so many opportunities for students as well in being here. So as an educator, my major interests is to be able to work with students, and the focus on students is paramount at MCPHS.
Thank you for that. Next question, Dr. Harvan and Dr. Damasi. How does MCPHS encourage interprofessional education?
Well, I'm the chair of the Boston Committee for Interprofessional Education. And just to give a very quick overview of why is this important, is the focus on team-based care and collaboration. We do know the evidence is clear that when faculty, health providers are collaborating on patient care, there is an improvement in health outcomes. And when we do broaden our interprofessional collaborations with scientists, with public health, with all aspects, population outcomes are significantly improved. So the importance of collaboration is what we are training students for. Interprofessional then education is the curriculum that we do work with students in being able to develop their competencies in working in team-based ways. So that's the overall purpose of what we do, and here on the Boston campus as well as on the Worcester Manchester campus, the leadership involves representation from all of the schools and programs to plan what those activities can be, and they are foundational in that they are exposure to team-based learning. Then moving on into immersive learning, where students are brought together. Even in we collaborate with, for example, across the programs at MCPHS. So the students are on Zoom or in classrooms or in simulation, in which they are working with professionals across the different professions. And that's case-based learning, for example, with Tufts Medical School or Tufts Dental School or Harvard Medical School, Harvard Dental School, as well as the MCPHS students are a part of that. And then we have students moving into what's called competence, and that's when you go into the clinical setting, which Camille can certainly speak to as well. And in the clinical setting, now she's practicing what we've been preaching in working together in team-based care.
I think that's a great answer. What I will add to that is the diversity that we have in our student population that brings that interdisciplinary flavor to all our courses. And so, for example, students in our lectures will have interests from pharmacy to becoming physicians or dentists, nurses, physical therapists, occupational therapists, sonographers, so optometrists. And so all these students are in classes together, and they're bringing their discipline and their expertise and their interests into our classes. And so we're able to have students work together, understanding that they're going to be part of a healthcare team, and that everybody brings a strength, everybody brings their own interest in terms of how they approach solving problems with their patients. So as Robin was talking about team-based learning, we do have students do a lot of work in class together in interdisciplinary teams, which allows them to understand all aspects of healthcare and how treating patients really is an interdisciplinary, what's the word I'm looking for? I ran out of words, sorry. But the healthcare providers need to understand that interdisciplinary approach to treating patients as people, right? They're not just symptoms, they're not just diseases, they're people. And bringing in all the disciplines, not just the clinical disciplines, but the psychology, the sociology, the public health, bringing that all together to make real differences in the health of our populations, that's where our students really do benefit.
Awesome, thank you. Next, Dr. Koskarakis and Dr. Harvan, please share your thoughts on the role of educating future healthcare leaders.
Thank you, Camille. So I think educating the next generation of healthcare leaders is something we take very, very seriously as a faculty body. It's very important to educate students, not just what is happening in the present, so today, but it's really important to instill in them the values of being a lifelong learner. Because healthcare is rapidly changing. It's not something that is stagnant. So things that you learn today may actually be obsolete in 2 years. However, educating students to be lifelong learners, to be curious, to seek out information is something that we take very seriously. Also, it's important that we educate future healthcare providers holistically. It's not just knowledge. Okay, it's not just imparting knowledge and giving them that. It's also skills, okay, making sure they know the skills for their particular profession, as well as attitudes. So it's a holistic approach. So I think overall, educating, healthcare providers, the next generation, is a privilege. However, it's also a very great responsibility.
And I see you are the future. The students are the future of healthcare and the future healthcare workforce. So it is really important that you remain active. And that's what I think is important about leadership is being active in the profession. For example, in the health sciences program, I'm introducing students to their professional organizations from year one so that they have an opportunity to begin to explore as well as become a part of the student groups that are in the professional organizations, so that they become actively involved in the future of that their profession, whatever profession that you would have. And it is important to be able to be actively involved, for example, in thinking about the future when you are, or being a part of the future, when you are on site in your profession. So you're preparing for then contributing to best practices. And best practices are important in being able to achieve the outcomes that we want. It could be institutional policy where you're parts of committees. So Camille can even speak to, as a student, how we do have students involved and involved in their programs of study in leadership positions, joining the club. We, for example, have the physical therapy and occupational therapy club. We have how many clubs that we have that you can get involved in, the public health club, the pre-med club. So many different clubs that you can get involved in and be able to begin working on your leadership as well as colleagues. And even in the interprofessional, we have a student group that is made up of the colleges of the Fenway, in addition to Boston University, and Harvard University are part of, and Tufts University are a part of that. And it's a student-run group. So these are student-run groups that are involved.
And just to go off of that, we do have, I think, over 100 clubs and organizations on campus. So we have many, many ways to get involved. And as a student here at MCPHS, I'd just like to reiterate what everyone has just been saying. The faculty and staff and professors are so great at treating the students, not just students, but as future co-workers, because we're all going to be in the healthcare field. We're all going to be part of the same medical team. And when we graduate, that is going to be, up to us to expand on what they have taught us. So it's great learning from these professors. So next question, just a little spiel about that. For Dr. Griffin and Dr. Harvan, please expand upon how faculty help support students outside the classroom.
Thank you so much, Camille. So there are a number of things that we do. And again, I feel so supported and encouraged by our leadership because we have the ability as faculty to spend the time with our students. But many of our programs have field placement requirements. So students spend some time during their matriculation at outside agencies, whether they be laboratories where they're doing benchtop work or maybe data analysis work, maybe nonprofits, other agencies that are related to their discipline. They spend time outside of our walls. And so because they're outside in the field, they understand and learn what type of a professional environment they will encounter when they do their next steps after graduation. And many of our students who have participated in these experiences have actually landed full-time permanent positions, or even if it was a graduate position, their graduate school position they were interested in, these participations in these field placements led to letters of recommendation or other ways that they were able to utilize the experience to help them once they moved on. But one of the most important ways I believe faculty support their students is through mentorship. And this mentorship continues long after students have graduated and they've left our campuses, even to when they're working in the field. And so we also help to make connections, and whether that be to people who are actively engaged and working in fields the students hope to enter, or students who are in graduate or professional programs that the students would like to enter. And so specifically for the public health program, I've had alums who have gone on to some of the most prestigious Masters in Public Health programs around the world, to medical school, to law school, other professional programs. So being able to make those connections is really key.
And mentoring really is a strong part of what our roles as faculty are, advisors and mentors. And that begins from day one. You'll be taking introduction to the major, to the last day when you might be taking a capstone course or your clinical capstone course, and you're being mentored all along the way. So there is you're assigned a team that works with you, and that team is what's called the MAC team. It's your faculty mentor, as well as your advisor and coach. From our Center for Academic Success and Enrichment. And that team works with you. They are your team to work with. And the faculty are very involved with that as well. So your instructors are also accessible. I think that's important to know. Not all institutions have, institutions of higher ed have that type of accessibility, but we do all have office hours that we do keep even office hours that we're doing virtually now. And my office hours are always busy, but at the same time, we also have appointments that students can make with us. And we can have one-on-one in being able to provide any advice and counsel along the way. And then, as Dr. Griffin said, I also am still very active with graduates and still providing advice and support and mentorship to our graduates. And that's what going back to how we started this, that is really what I enjoy most about being at MCPHS, is the faculty-student relationships that we are able to make and maintain.
Great, thank you. Dr. DeMasi and Dr. Griffin, how do you prepare students in your classroom for their professional role? Dr. DeMasi, I believe you are muted.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, you're right. I was muted. My bad.
You're welcome.
Yes. Okay. So at MCPHS, we all understand where our students are interested in going in careers in healthcare, in medicine, in research, in the clinic. So we really design our courses to ensure that students gain not just the knowledge, but the skills they need in order to be successful, as Maria was saying before. And so, for example, in my courses, I teach biology courses, I teach an immunology course, a cancer biology course, and I am sure to make sure I'm designing my course to prepare students in order to be successful in their careers. So the skills and knowledge they need to be successful in research, they need to be able to read research articles, to interpret data, to come up with experiments. So I'm making sure I'm teaching those skills in my courses. And a lot of the faculty at MCPHS understand where our courses fit, not just within our curriculum, but within the development of the student for them to be successful in their careers. So I'm very aware, and all of my faculty are very aware of how our courses fit into students' interests in, becoming a physician, a PA, an optometrist, a pharmacist, a physical therapist. So we're ensuring that our courses are designed to help students be successful in their chosen careers. So I would say that's where MCPHS really sets, I think, ourselves apart from other institutions where you might just be taking a psychology course or a sociology course or a writing course, whereas at our institution, our courses are designed primarily for students who are interested in going into healthcare, medicine, and research. So we're very thoughtful about preparing students for the careers that they've chosen.
And I agree 100% with what Dr. DeMasi has already mentioned. And in particular, the piece about recognizing trends, and we've heard that echoed on this conversation as well. I'm trained as an epidemiologist, and so part of my training is to look at data, to understand trends, and to try to predict what might be next. And so working in concert with my colleagues from across a number of other disciplines in healthcare, we all apply that knowledge together to try to make sure that we're preparing our students, that we're giving them the skill set to understand what's next and how they can be at the forefront of that innovation. And whether that be, their next steps be graduate school, medical school, law school, any other type of professional schooling or going right into the workplace, we try to make sure that they know exactly what they need to be adequately and actually more prepared than other folks who are competing for spaces in the same place. And then I also look at it in sort of two different categories, both the discipline-specific knowledge and competencies that students in specific programs will need, as well as just general skills that will allow them to operate well in any professional workspace. So for my students, that specifically includes teaching them about research competencies. So, I'll draw on, as Dr. Harvin mentioned, the specific organizations that relate to the major. So information from the American Public Health Association, from the Association of Schools and Programs of Public Health. We all bring in those professional organizations so that students understand the competencies and how to work within their professional environments. And so You heard Dr. Damasi mention the data. We make sure that our students understand valid and reliable sources of information. Our public health students are also trained in data analysis programs like SAS and SPSS. We also, many of us include our students in our own research. But more generally, we also talk about the importance of good communication, about empathy and compassionate care, about the importance of diversity, equity, and inclusion, about logistics, and also about leadership and professionalism.
What I really appreciate about the area in particular is the opportunity that students have to do community-based learning, and it's very exciting to be able to be a part of the community, for the students to go into the community and to work with patients, to work with the public, with the different communities and community health centers, et cetera. And students also have the opportunity to work with students across the different the different higher education institutions in the Boston area as well.
Great, thank you. Go ahead, Dr. Damasi.
I'll add, being in the Longwood medical area, our students have access to clinical and research opportunities at Harvard Medical School, Dana-Farber Cancer Center, Boston Children's Hospital, the Mass Eye and Ear. So we have a lot of students who are doing research or getting clinical experiences at those institutions. And that's another reason I love working in the Longwood medical area.
Great, awesome. As we are nearing the last question, Dr. Harvin, Dr. Koskorakis, and Dr. Damasi, I know we touched upon this super briefly, but actually not super briefly, we touched upon this a lot during our time together today. But as we mentioned, our campus is in the world-renowned Longwood Medical and Academic Area, which is a global medical hub. Can you provide some further examples of opportunities this location creates for students?
I think we already jumped into that in talking about the issue of the professional role. So yes, being in the Longwood medical area, as I had said, is just it's the mecca for healthcare. Students being able to go to Boston Children's Hospital or to Brigham and Women's, for example, or the community health centers that are in the area. Doing service learning, doing community-based learning is really very exciting. I have a faculty appointment as well at Harvard University, Harvard Medical School and Dental School. So bringing students together with the Harvard medical students and the Harvard dental students is part of interprofessional education as well. And it's just really a lot of fun things to do. We're doing healthcare redesign. We've just put together and received some funding to work with the colleges of the Fenway to offer some coursework, which could include a minor in healthcare redesign, where students are coming together to from the engineering school and from the art school, in addition to MCPHS, in which they're solving problems because they're doing that with professionals that are in the healthcare industry, either the biomedical industry or the hospital industry. They're a part of these groups as well. And coming up with new ways of solving healthcare issues, and students are involved in that, and that's pretty exciting.
I think we are so fortunate about where we are. I mean, if you just walk out onto Longwood, You are surrounded by these world-class institutions. So the Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center, Brigham and Women's Hospital, Children's Hospital, which folks have alluded to. You are in the middle of it all. You can see all these other students who are walking around from these various institutions. You can see patients who are going to these institutions. So, I mean, you can sense that excitement, I think, when you are on Longwood Avenue. In addition, you know, students have the opportunity to do rotations in these institutions, which, again, is a wonderful, wonderful thing. So for pharmacy, for instance, students are able to do both introductory experiences as well as advanced experiences in these institutions. So for advanced experiences, they rotate through the pharmacy department. They can work in, for instance, cardiology, infectious disease, et cetera. It's a great opportunity. And again, just something that everyone has been alluding to in terms of interprofessional education. This is where it's at. You are surrounded by all these other students, as well as other healthcare providers, and you're able to work with them in these great institutions. So I think there's just great excitement when you leave the walls of our institution and venture out into these other areas.
In the School of Arts and Sciences, we often have students earning course credit for some of their experiences in the Longwood medical area. Students are earning credit for research internships, for field placement experiences. And so it actually does become a part of their education. Students working at these other institutions, performing research, getting involved in the public health and the health sciences aspect of healthcare. So we really do view it as our campus, the Longwood Medical Area, is part of the MCPHS campus. And our students actually end up getting jobs through many of these experiences. I've had students personally who've I've helped get research experiences at Harvard Medical School or Dana-Farber Cancer Center, who end up, so they're doing their research during their undergraduate years, and then they end up finding jobs through those experiences, or getting excellent letters of recommendations from some of the most famous clinicians in the world from their experiences. So it really does benefit students, and we definitely help students find those experiences, gain those experiences, and it really does contribute to their education.
Great, thank you. And just to reiterate what Dr. Damasi said, I have had many friends who I've known as students and as friends, and then after they graduate, you know, they tell me, oh, I have patients to see, or I have patients to take care of, I'll catch up with you later. And I was like, patients? Oh my goodness. But it really, again, just reiterates that we are in the hub of the medical center here in Boston. We have many amazing opportunities to us because of our location. And again, that's why I chose MCPHS. But as our time together is coming to an end, I would just like to thank all of the professors for providing our students with amazing insight. And hopefully everyone is pumped and excited to start their MCPHS journey. I know I'm a fifth year and almost graduating, but it still makes me excited for all the students who are coming to MCPHS and learning how to leave their mark as a healthcare professional. Thank you for everyone who joined us today, and we look forward to welcoming you in the fall.